price to pay.
Politics in the United States of America. The left has gotten really left, and the right has gotten really right. Everyone's towing the line, and we're getting nowhere. Fast. This is the Rational American. The Rational American. Common sense has gone out the window, and our passion is to open eyes in hopes that people will take a rational look at what America is actually becoming. Put your feelings aside and let's get real. This is the Rational American, and this is your host, Steve Oatley.
Well, what's going on, everybody? Everybody in the club getting tipsy or something like that. I don't even know where that came from. Whatever. Welcome. Today is Thursday. It's early. 4:20. Smoke it if you got it. Unless you're allergic and you violently throw up like me. So then I suggest not doing so. But yeah, how you guys doing? Are you ready for this? I don't really even know what I'm going to talk about, but I figured I should because this is going to be the last live stream for a couple of days. Well, no, it's going to be the last in-studio live stream. Tomorrow I'll be out. That's why you can see I was getting the camera all set up and the batteries and all that stuff. I'm going to be trying something new tomorrow. Trying something new, going out of my comfort zone. I got the microphone, and I ran a bunch of tests today, and I realized that I can use the microphone with the Rode. I can use that on both the cellular device, as well as camcorder at the same time, which is pretty cool because the camcorder just does raw footage that I can use later. But yeah, we're going to be out in Wilmington, North Carolina tomorrow, so hopefully you guys are out. Someone said volume up, my dude. How about that? Is that better? But yeah, it's been an interesting day. You know, one thing that's kind of interesting to me, and it may not be to you guys, but it kind of is to me, is how so many news articles get recirculated. Like the other day, a viewer, and a good viewer, but he sent me something from 2021 saying that, can you believe this? And I couldn't believe it. You know what I mean? And I forgot what it was. It had to do with some equity training for schools in Pennsylvania. But I was like, nah, I can't really believe that. That's crazy. And then I look into it and I find out it's from 2021. And I'm like, how did we miss that? How did we, and I think it's just because there's been so much woke CRT, so much weird stuff. Like another one that's going around right now is CBS reality shows must now have 50% non-white casts, according to the network. And that includes all of their programming. So all of their, the initiative follows targets CBS set for its scripted programs earlier this year, as well as a deal to create programming with the NAACP. I'm an employer. It's illegal for me. It doesn't even matter. It's so stupid. Everybody already knows it. You know what I mean? Everybody already understands certain things. So it's crazy. It's weird because a lot of the live viewers on Citizen Stringer, I know I just switched really quick. I noticed our numbers went way up when I sent out the notification, and then they're like, you know what? I don't want to watch this right now. And then they dropped off, which is cool. Someone said had to get my headphones in because I couldn't hear them. Well, yeah, I had it down, but it's loud now. So, but it's just really weird because you can't. If a company made a requirement to say that they're only going to hire white people or they're going to hire 50% white people, it would be racist. Do you know what I mean? Like, wasn't Twitter or Facebook? I think it was Facebook. Facebook was offering what I did cry as a racist program by offering minority-only scholarships to a coding course or something like that, which could lead to employment with the company, which means that the only ones that are eligible are minorities. And I believe there was another company out there that did the same thing, and they actually got sued for it because someone's like, listen, I meet all the requirements other than my skin color, and this is not right. If it's done in reverse, like, for example, say there's a scholarship out there, right, and it advertises only for white people, it's inherently racist. But why isn't it racist when it's the opposite way? If it's a scholarship only for minorities, or government grants, or government hiring preferences, or discounts, or scholarships, anything, there's always something out there, which it seems that it's not racist because it's racist. Like, you know what I mean? I just can't. And I know I've had conversations with liberals, i.e. my wife, about this kind of stuff pertaining to scholarships and things like that. And she's like, well, it's not racist because they have a systemic disadvantage already. And I'm like, okay, well, even if you believe in that, I get that. But what about the millions of white people that live in poverty across America that aren't given that? We were, growing up, I lived in poverty, like supreme poverty. I see something on my shirt. Sorry, it was annoying me. We lived in poverty. We were poor as shit growing up. And I didn't get scholarship preferences. I didn't get, hiring preferences or anything. In fact, I've had so many obstacles in my life. It's a wonder I'm a success now. Most of them were self-imposed. People that have known me for a long time know that, but most of them are self-imposed. But I don't, for the life of me, I'm not going to ever understand just how crazy America's become that they do this. I was watching this guy, Pauly, I think his name is. He's like a YouTuber that does street interviews. Incredibly funny, by the way. But I was watching him do some interviews where he was asking people to act white or something like that. And it was funny, but he entered one guy and he's like, well, I forgot what he said. The guy was just being racist as shit. You know what I mean? And I almost wish that people that had a platform that big would point it out, because someone was talking about, how white people are this and white people are that. White people want to kill black people and all the same stuff, all the same rhetoric that we hear all over the place. And even the social media people, the big people that have the platforms to talk about it. And when I say big, I mean, this guy's got over 1 million followers, 1 million subscribers on YouTube. You would think that he would be able to, take some of that time to educate people. And I guess that's not the focus of his channel. So he's not going to do that. And I do recommend his channel because it's funny. I literally just watched it for an hour and I was laughing while I was working. I was just listening to it and just hearing people's responses to very basic questions was mildly entertaining. But I don't understand. I don't understand certain things. Like someone said, how do you act white? Yeah, how do you act black? It's just acting like somebody else. Yeah, I don't know. I don't understand it. That's what the guy was saying. He's like, act white. And the person's like, I can't. They stole everything from us already. And I'm like, what? And he did try to go into it. And he's like, look at Disney, look at this, look at that, look at this, look at that, as different examples of racism, as if that's some sort of representation of what America is now. You know what I mean? Leonard Smith made a good point, said we were poor and never knew it till later. Yeah, we didn't know. Growing up, we didn't know we were poor. I never had new clothes. My older brother got all the new clothes in my house because he was, astronomically larger than the rest of us. And that's just how it went. And my little brother, the youngest one, he never got new clothes because he had 3 other brothers' clothes to go through. That's just how it is. When we had new school clothes, we got 2 sets of new clothes and new shoes from Walmart. That was our new school clothes stuff. My parents used to make us bread and shit because we didn't even buy bread. Like they literally made it out of pizza dough. You know what I mean? Like we were poor. We had Christmases where we got empty boxes promising trips that we never took. Like no joke. but we still had, each other, I guess, for the most part until I left the house because of the state. But I don't know. It's very weird. It's very weird. And it bugs me a little bit to see this kind of stuff. It bugs me a lot, actually, to see these news reports from last year surfacing, because now a lot of these companies would walk that back. A lot, CBS reality shows having a requirement by the company to have a 50% non-white cast. You would think that would draw some ire somewhere, right? People would be like, wait, that's not right. So you're not hiring people, or you're not hiring people based on skill or based on intellect. You're hiring them based on race, which is racist. Because if you fire someone based on race, or you don't hire someone based on race, that's racist, right? But unless you're white, because then you can't. I wonder if there's ever been a successful lawsuit against like a minority scholarship where someone that's not a minority but fits all the other check boxes is deemed ineligible. I'm curious what's going to happen with I think it was Facebook or Twitter. It was one of the big tech companies that was offering this free course. And I think it was a white woman that actually sued, because she's like, listen, it's racist. It's not fair. I meet all the other qualifiers. The only one that I don't meet is race. And so you're basing your decision to educate based solely on race, which just doesn't make sense. And what about everybody else? What about all the people that grew up in poverty? What about all the, luckily for my kids, they're not going to have to experience a life. They don't. Hell, my son got a $600 freaking PlayStation that we waited 2 years for. For his birthday. Most kids don't get that. And in hindsight, we shouldn't have done it, but I promised him I was getting him a damn PlayStation. You know what I mean? And it's not that we shouldn't have done it, because money is getting tight, just like it is for everybody else in the country. But it bugs me a little bit just to pay attention to certain things, and nobody, it's almost like people don't even, it's almost that people are oblivious to it. I see a lot of comments, like on the one that it's a screenshot of the CNBC headline from November 9th, 2020, almost 2 years ago. And a lot of people are retweeting that now, and it's going viral again. And it's almost like, well, look how stupid we've become as a country. We've literally put people in power in this country and overlooked other people because they were white. The Supreme Court justices, things like that, doctors, where they hire people, that are trans, and instead of hiring other people that may be equally or more qualified just because they have this quota or this agenda to set. It's very weird. It's very weird. It's frustrating to me. It's frustrating to a lot of people when you just think about it. And maybe it's not. Maybe I'm just overthinking things because I'm tired as hell, but probably. David Tay said, outlook on September mega boxes. Yeah, they're super late. I'm either going to send an email out this weekend about them, or I'll send an email out on Monday. But I'm trying to get caught up on all of this old stuff, because it's just been piling up and piling up and piling up. So what I'm going to do is either get your boxes out late next week, or you'll all get an email and you'll have an option to do something. I'm not really going to talk about it now, but I haven't forgot about the September boxes. I've reached that crescendo of trying to do too much by myself, and I'm supremely overwhelmed. And I'm working, 14-hour days, 15-hour days. And so I'm well beyond burnt out right now, but whatever. It is what it is. This is what I wanted to do it. And I think things will get a little bit easier in the future, because of the new system that I'm implementing here, just for my time constraints. But yeah, it's Tuck on Citizen Stringer asked how you send an email. social@citizenstringer.com. Unless it's about orders. If it's about orders, then send it to orders@puretruthcoffee.com. But Optimus Prime said, Steve, is something going on in the world on the 24th? I don't know. That's what someone else came in the chat earlier and said, Steve, wait till the 24th, as if that meant something. But I have no idea what that actually means. You know, I haven't heard anything. And if that's one of the conspiracy theory things, I don't pay attention, you know, to it. Someone said 3 strike rule. I'm straight, white, and male, whammy. Yeah, you know, I had a person that works in the government private sector, you know, government contracting realm, that, you know, he told me if you own a business and you're not located in a hub zone, you know, so which is a zone, it's declared like an area where they need businesses, right? So the federal government gives preferences, contracting preferences to people that are located in hub zones. They give preferences to veterans, which rightfully they should, minorities, certified small businesses, all this stuff. And, you know, I was talking to this guy that has his own company, and he was like, listen, it's really difficult because we have to subcontract out. The subcontractors are the ones that are getting the bids, and they're hiring us to do it because we're not eligible for a lot of these contracts because they give all these preferences to everybody else, you know, and he made a statement that was very similar. Because he's like as a straight single white male, I don't get college scholarships. This guy had to pay for his college. He didn't get college scholarships. He doesn't get preferences for jobs. He doesn't get preferences for banking. Now, you know, what was it? Bank of America or Chase or whatever bank said that they're going to give loans and lower the restrictions that they have, or the qualifications for people to get home loans. Isn't that just what happened? Only if you're a minority, though. But isn't that what only if you live in certain areas? Isn't that what happened in 2008 or leading up to 2008 with the housing crisis? It's the same thing. And it's almost like we're doing it again. You know, there it was subprime, so they weren't just going after minorities. They were going after anybody that didn't have, income. But what about now? You know, what about now with everything that's going on and you know, the inflation rates through the roof? Shouldn't it be alarming to people that a bank is going to lower their qualifications? Everyone looks at it as like a positive thing, like, oh, the banks are going to lower their qualifications to give out loans to people that may or may not be able to. Well, because here's the thing, if you lower your qualifications for someone to buy a home, you have qualifications in place to protect that loan, right? But if the government is now backing it, then you can just say, well, fuck it. I will give these loans out to everybody because the government is going to make sure I get paid. The qualifications and how you qualify for a loan is by making sure that you are financially able and secure enough to make your mortgage every month. Otherwise, the bank would take a loss. That's why they have qualifications. That's why, for example, I couldn't buy a home. My name isn't even on the home that we bought because I'm self-employed. And they needed to, 2 years of the same industry and all that stuff. And now we have it, but we didn't then. Do you know, there's so many weird things transpiring across America. When you look at everything, it should frighten anybody. You know, like, and I guess a part of it's kind of, the UN speech that we listened to today on Citizen Stringer and on social media that I broadcast out today was different because when the Russian Federation was speaking, Lazov or whatever his name is, when he was speaking, it made me go, like, if you replaced Russia with America, just the words, and Putin with Trump, it would be the Democrat talking points. Almost virtually everything that we've heard in the past 2 weeks coming from the left is what was said coming from Putin, or coming from the Russian Federation spokesperson today at the UN Security Council meeting. It literally was. They talked about how they're going after media companies. It talked about censorship. It talked about Nazis and all this stuff. And everybody wants to, it seems like with the situation in Ukraine, at least, everybody is looking at, they're willfully ignorant. And it's the same thing that's happening here in America, right? Because everybody's so willfully ignorant about everything that Russia is claiming. You know what I mean? About Nazis and about this and about that. You know, about everything. It's very frustrating. Hold on one second. I got to check some. You know, and everyone pretends that it's not true. You know? Even though it is, even though it's very factual, everyone knows that all the claims that they made today. What the fuck, bro. This shit never ends, dude. Hold on 1 second. Ay, dude. There's always something every day, it seems. I'm going to have a sit down with the old wife because here's the thing. Maybe it's just shit's more expensive. I don't know. But I feel like our cost of living in our personal household is through the fucking roof. Through the roof. And it doesn't seem to ever, there's no like, yeah, whatever. It doesn't matter. It's just crazy. I forgot what I was talking about. Someone said you can't get anything for $1. Yeah, it's like grocery shopping. You know, we were spending about $300 a week for food, you know, on groceries. And I was like, what the hell? Like that's insane. We shouldn't be spending that much. And she's like, you don't go shopping. You don't understand. The prices of everything have increased. She's like, virtually every single product is about $5. And I'm like, no, it can't be. And then, you know, I ended up buying like a pound of turkey or something, and it was like $9. I'm like, what the hell? You know, a gallon of milk, if we run out, I got to go and buy a gallon of milk now. It's like $6. You know, the other day I bought cookies, right? Because, you know, I love my cookies. So I went to the dollar store, Dollar General, and bought 3 things of cookies. It was $9. It's the dollar store. It's just, it's crazy. Derek said we spend $500 a week on a family of 7. Other people said $300 isn't bad. Yeah, but that's because my wife buys the store brand shit. And here's the thing. She tries not to because I hate store brand stuff because it tastes different and it reminds me of my childhood. I know, it's very odd, right? I don't like store brand cereal, store brand bread, store brand meat. I feel like they pump it full of like oil and stuff, so it doesn't have it. You know, I don't think I'm the only one on that because I know other people that grew up in my household that have the same thing now. They don't allow store brand stuff. Like fuck Toasted Oats. Like any of you guys remember Toasted Oats? Fuck Toasted Oats. I'll never, if I see a box of Toasted Oats, I'll burn them because they're awful, you know, but everything, and there is a difference, you know. Someone said, then you're really going to pay it. So what my wife did this week is she went to Aldi, you know, and she ended up, you know, penny pinching and doing menus and all that stuff. And we have no fucking food in our house. So I don't know, man. It's very annoying. It's very annoying. You know, and then just on our personal side, because everything's slowed down, you know, just like I've said for a while, our YouTube payout was the lowest. Yeah, I got paid more doing Freight Broker Live than our YouTube payout last month. Our YouTube payout was less than $200. And then you know what they did too to really fuck you over? They took YouTube separated. So usually what happens with YouTube, if you have multiple YouTubes and everything, they all go into one AdSense account. And we have ads on Citizen Stringer. If you don't use an ad blocker, you see them. And those ads too go all into one account typically. And I've noticed a downward trend for quite a while. You know, and that's why I say the news business is actually costing us money now every single month versus, you know, just breaking even. You know, we've never made money on the news side of things. But YouTube was, they separated it now. So they have like a separate AdSense and a separate payment that comes out for YouTube than AdSense, and they have $100 minimum. So we didn't even get our $100 for the ads on Citizen Stringer. So yeah, this was the worst financial month that we've had on the news side ever. So go figure that one out. We lost lots and lots of money, which is just going to make things difficult and difficult conversations. And I've noticed a downward trend over the past couple of months anyway. And oh man, it just sucks. You know, it just sucks. Someone said Kroger delivery, love it. Yeah, we don't have Kroger's here. You guys remember a couple of weeks ago, I went to a Kroger for the first time ever. I was lost. It was very amazing. But yeah, Loza must be in the chat. Loza, there's a rapper here. I'm going to tell you. I almost sent you this the other day, but I forgot. There is a rapper that you need to do. What is it called when rappers do like a rebuttal to somebody? I really want to see it. I don't. Here, maybe I can't play the whole song, but maybe you could figure out who this is. It's it's disgusting. Murder. Wait, ready? Ready? So, and hide your kids if you're listening. But I want Loza to try to find this song if he could do it. It's some female rapper. But listen.
DF, baby daddy free. That mean I ain't got a baby coming out of me. So I'm ABORTING.
Yeah, she spelled aborting, and then she says, I've got murder on my mind. Some rapper chick, I don't know. And it's a bunch of people, a bunch of girls wearing virtually nothing, twerking outside of a Planned Parenthood. Yeah, Kate, it is the one you sent to me. I don't know who the rapper was because I would tell Loza. It doesn't say it on the video, but I want Loza to do a. Okay, this is funny. Someone else posted their rebuttal. I got to show you this because this is pretty funny. Where's my thing here? Look, this is a rebuttal someone posted. This is goofy. Yeah. It's a pig wearing a bikini or something like that, walking around. I don't know, man. But I don't know if you could find that. It's not Cardi B. I have no idea who it is. I don't really want to know. It doesn't say it anywhere. I know it was directed by a director by Fool with the Camera. I don't know if that helps you find it, but I don't want to listen to any more songs. And Kate sent it to me, and she was like, "You're not." Maybe it is Cardi B. I don't know. It kind of looks like her, but someone sent it. Kate sent it to me, and I forgot what the description was like. Can you believe this shit? No, she didn't even write a caption. Normally she writes something telling me what it is. She didn't even write anything. And the caption of this video is pure evil. Female rapper, she said, a murder on her mind as she twerks in front of Planned Parenthood. It's gross, dude. It's just gross. But yeah, Loza, if you could do one of those like fight back, like when they rap, what is it, rap battle? Something like that, that would be great. Especially to the beat, because the beat was okay. Like even me in the car, because I played that when I was in the car. And I'll be honest, I like was rapping to that beat, like saying awful things about this person. But someone said, I know Megan the Horse did a Plan B song. No. You know what? Can I send this to you that way? I don't know how to do this. Copy. I don't know if I've ever sent you a message on Twitter. I don't know how to send messages. Hold on. Let me. Here. Lowe's, I just sent it to you on Twitter. Look at that. I'm getting good with this shit. And maybe you could find out who it is. I know you make your own beats, so you could probably find that one. Copy it or whatever. But I sent it to you on Twitter. It is the beat that gets you. Yeah, because it's fun. And like, and then and then I started doing my own diss track, and I can't rap, so it sounded awful. But yeah. I was thinking one time, Loza, when you're in the area, we should do a rap song together, and I'll just like stand there and cross my arms or something in the background because I can't rap worth a shit. But diss track, is that what it's called? No, because you do a diss track towards somebody, right? That wouldn't be a rebuttal. I don't know. Didn't someone famous do a diss or a rebuttal? Something like that's what I'm thinking, where you just like talk about how their mom would be very proud of them. For, I've got, oh man, see, I'm going to stop myself before I continue on. I'm going to stop myself before I continue going, because I'm going to go into a place and then all the people will label me as racist and all that stuff. So I'm just going to stop. But there's nothing nice to possibly say about anybody that even thinks that's a good song. But you can remix it. Yeah, remix. That's what it is. It's a battle, isn't it? I don't know. Write a have a baby, get a job diss track. I added the get a job. Someone said write a have a baby diss track. Like, yeah, write a diss track about how to be a fucking responsible adult, right? How about you don't twerk outside of a Planned Parenthood? Nope, not. I'll stop myself. I'll stop. So what were we talking about? I saw one comment by somebody, I think it was a left-winger on Twitter, that was talking about how Jared Kushner was being critical of Ron DeSantis and how the right-wing media is attacking, saying, you got to remember the humans, which is weird. And maybe that's how I haven't made it yet, because I've been maintaining that the whole time. I'm not really on board with packing up a bunch of migrants, sending them on a plane to Martha's Vineyard. But it did exactly what it was intended to. Is it intended to get national media attention, and it did just that. But it seems a lot of people are really, really, like, a lot of people, including myself, seem that like, if you had to take it back, like, for me, I'd say do the same thing again. Do you know what I mean? Even though I think it was wrong to drop them in Martha's Vineyard. Whereas if they dropped him in Boston, it would be no different than anybody else doing it, Biden included. They dropped him in Martha's Vineyard because it garnished national attention. It was a very, very, very skillful thing. I think a lot of people are trying to conflate everything about it. It got mainstream media to talk about what was going on at the border, if only to attack Ron DeSantis. But it seems like it's like backfiring a little bit, because the right is attacking Ron DeSantis. The left is attacking Ron DeSantis, but some on the right are attacking him because they think it was just a political ploy. I don't think it was a political ploy. I think it was a stunt to get national media attention. I don't think it benefited Ron DeSantis in the least bit, except well, yeah, it did. But I don't think that was the intention, was to benefit Ron DeSantis from it. But how else do you get people to pay attention to what's going on? We need a Spanish version of Loza Alexander to do a song about the border crisis coming in, like a Spanish rapper. Do they have those? Isn't there a different name for them? Or I think there is. But I don't understand why so many people are just stupid nowadays. And I don't. Stupid's not even the right word, because willfully ignorant, like someone that pretends that they don't know something is wrong when they do. You know what I mean? I feel like that's what the large majority of America does, and it's crazy. It's crazy. So someone said, I've never seen more agreement on people supporting what DeSantis did. Yeah, but there's a lot that there's a lot that agree with what he did, but not what he did at the same time, and I kind of fall into that group, because I don't think it's right to send him to Martha's Vineyard, because then because you're inconveniencing other resources. Like, for example, right now, these 50 migrants are being protected by 300 Massachusetts National Guard members and are living on a base. But how else was mainstream media actually going to give a fuck about our border? Yeah, sure. Every now and then there would be a camera or two that would show up when the buses are dropping off migrants in DC, or, when the first buses started dropping off in New York City, the media paid attention, local media. But nobody really paid too much attention to it. Ron DeSantis drops 50 of them off in a chartered jet in Martha's Vineyard, and everyone goes nutty. I guess what the argument is that they're people. So that's what the majority of the people are saying. Hey, it was not right in the regard that using people as a political stunt. I get that argument, but at what point? Here's the thing. They wanted to travel up north, right? And they wanted to come into America. What better way? They're all fucking celebrities now. They got treated like celebrities, hugged and kissed as they were getting kicked off of Martha's Vineyard 24 hours after they got there. They were all celebrities, had their photos taken, had journalists wanting to know, about their trips from Venezuela. Yeah, everybody wanted to know about it because while the media wanted to attack DeSantis, and we've heard, after that plane went, you have Karine Jean-Pierre getting up there and talking about how they're fixing the prior administration, Donald Trump's presidency. They're fixing all the issues from his administration. Just looking at the numbers tells you that's bullshit. When you look at the number of illegal border crossers in 2019 versus 2020, you see a drastic increase. You look at the illegal border crossers in 2020 or 2018 and 2020, we still don't even amount to what we are now. We're at the highest levels we've ever been. We just hit, and the fiscal year isn't even over, 2 million people apprehended. That means 2 million people have been caught illegally committing crimes in crossing into the United States here in America. It doesn't matter. They say, oh, we've expelled more migrants than any other president. No shit. It's because more people have come in. Hold on one second. Hey, can I call you back? I'm live. All right, bye. Sorry. When family calls you, you got to answer the phone, right? Because you never know if it's bad news. So, but that's why I always do it, because he would have said, no, I got to talk to you. And I would have put you all on hold. But yeah, we just live in a weird time, man. We just live in a weird time, and everyone is so like partisan. You know what I mean? Partisan. You can support the move, the political stunt of the move, right? Which I do. I support it because I feel like you're at where there's nowhere else to go. There's nothing else we can do. Just as Americans or as people that give a shit and want to secure our border, there was nothing else they could have done except ship them up there because it did garnish national attention. If they shipped them, they tried shipping them to DC. They tried shipping them, to all these other sanctuary states and sanctuary cities. And the media was just willfully ignorant. They made the deliberate, conscious editorial decision to not cover it. And so no matter what, you're never going to be able to influence the opposite side. Sure, everybody on the right knows what's going on at the border. Everyone knows what happened at the border. Everyone knows that illegal immigrants are crossing at record numbers. But everyone doesn't want to pay attention to those details and overlooks them for something else. When in fact, this caused them to kind of have to look at it and say, well, listen, because then they're all going to be like, oh, so the mainstream media is calling Ron DeSantis a human trafficker. What's his response? And then he goes out there and says his response and said, Biden's been doing this forever. Look at the actual crisis at the border. We wouldn't have done this if there wasn't a crisis at the border. We wouldn't even have had the resources to do it if all this shit didn't even happen. And it causes people to kind of look at it. So when you look at it from that perspective, it had to be done. But when you look at it from the humanitarian side, these are people. And it doesn't matter whether they're United States citizens or not. They are people that came to this country, the ones with good intentions, came to this country to see it succeed. You know what I mean? And to have them be used as a tool, which is weird, because you would think that would have been something Democrats do, right? Because they're used to using people. Look at the Black Lives Matter marches of 2020. Look, or the riots and all that stuff. Look, they're used to using people and getting people to blindly follow them. I don't believe Republicans do that as a first nature. But yet we did here, and it had the same aspect, or they knew it was going to happen. I'm not in DeSantis's ear, so I'm talking out my ass here. But you have to know that DeSantis and the team and everybody behind this knew exactly what was going to happen. They knew there was going to be media outrage. They knew there was going to be blowback. They knew they were also going to get pats on the back from the other people. It would have been nice, and maybe he did say it, I don't know, but it would have been nice if DeSantis is like, listen, it sucks that we sent people to Martha's Vineyard. But that was the only way people were going to pay attention. He probably couldn't say that because that would probably, he probably can't say that. But you know what I mean? It would be weird for him to be like, it would have been nice, and to say like, listen, sure, this was an extreme way to garnish the national attention that we need. or heard him say anything that followed along those lines, because I think it would have slowed down some of the rhetoric that's coming out, because now you got left-wing rags when Jared Kushner says the same thing that I just said, essentially, saying it sucks that they were people and people shouldn't be used as political ploys or political stunts or anything like that, whatever you want to call it. Everyone wants to make an argument, say it wasn't a political stunt. It certainly was. It was made to be a political stunt. And what that means is it's not meaning DeSantis is trying to become the front runner in 2024. No, a political stunt is something that one party does, a political party does in order to garnish national attention. And it worked. And I wouldn't take it back, because there's no other, I would just try to think of a different way. You know what I mean? I don't know. It was made to open people's eyes. Someone said, and it worked. Look at what Sweet Tat on YouTube just said. I mean, MSNBC now has a reporter on the border, so you know it's working. But is that actually because of that, or is it because yesterday, I believe, was the 1-year anniversary of where the Border Patrol on horseback were apparently whipping the Haitian migrants, even though that's not what they were doing, and they were cleared, and it doesn't even matter. They were still punished. But that was a 1-year anniversary, and I saw people tweeting that photo out and then deleting it. But they were saying 1 year ago this happened, or no. And some people kept it up. Some of the members of the squad, I think, tweeted it out. 1 year ago this happened, and America hasn't changed, and nobody's been held, accountable. Accountable for what? Steering the horses away from trampling people, because that's what it's for. That's why they were spinning the reins around. But you would have to be, so I didn't know that. We just have a shit ton of viewers that ride horses. I can't even, I'm over the weight limit for horses, unfortunately. I need a Clydesdale or something so I can go ride. Apparently, because they all have like a 225-pound cutoff. Bullshit. I actually like riding horses too. I don't know. It's very frustrating to me, and it's very frustrating to many of you guys that watch this stuff every day and watch what people are saying and doing every single day, to see it repeatedly happen over and over and over. It's frustrating. But someone said sometimes you have to give people a taste of their own medicine. Yeah, but we never should get to that point. We're all Americans. You know what I mean? And that's a problem, is people believe we are at a point in this country right now where you have to do that, where you believe that you have to give someone a taste of your own medicine. That's like shit you teach little kids. You teach little kids the opposite, in fact. But we've come to a place in our society now where people, it doesn't matter whether you're a Republican or Democrat, you have to do those kind of things, and because that's the only way people are going to pay attention. You have to be outlandish. You have to be outrageous. You have to be loud, because otherwise no one's going to pay attention to you, and I got a feeling that's why, people like Alex99, Alex Stein 99, Primetime, whatever his name is. I believe that's why he's so successful. Is because he's going out there, he's being outrageous, but he's also talking about the actual points. And a lot of the times when he actually gets the platform, sure, he goes out and yells shit that I would never yell to anybody. But then when he gets the platform to actually discuss that, he turns it around. I've seen him do it in the interviews, where people will interview him about that, and he turns it right around and starts talking about the actual topics that he wants. And I'm like, holy shit, it's kind of genius. And he's done it a lot on a bunch of different platforms. He also just has something I don't have, which is like the no care. No, that's not the right word. He just doesn't give a fuck. I still give a fuck. Excuse my language. But, someone said in this political climate, you have to be outrageous. Yeah, but we shouldn't be. We shouldn't have to be. You know what I mean? And I agree. I agree that we are, but everyone should remember we shouldn't have to. And I guess that's what I'm trying to say. New York is a modern version of the movie Gangs of New York. Yeah, it is. New York is rough as hell. Someone said, you are correct and it shouldn't be happening. However, it was supposed to be dealt with when amnesty was given back in the 80s. I don't know what you're talking about there. Someone said, whoa, Steve, these are illegal aliens who came into this country with no right to decide or demand to be sent to any specific place of their choice. If DeSantis chose them, chose to send them to Martha's Vineyard. Who welcomes illegals? So be it. Call it a political ploy. What's an open border? No. See, because you don't understand the law here in the United States, right? And so I'll school you real quick, Pat, because that's fine, and I'm not being mean to you. When they committed crimes when they crossed into the United States, and they were captured by the Border Patrol. The Border Patrol then processed them in, made sure they weren't criminals or whatever, and then gave them a piece of paper which says, hey, you have 60 days to report to your immigration probation officer, essentially, while you go through the asylum process. That little piece of paper right there makes them legal to be in the United States. That is what the underlying problem is that little piece of paper, they can't work, they can't do anything, but there's a bunch of resources for them all already in the United States. DeSantis picked these people up from Texas, flew them or bused them to Florida, fed them again, and did all that stuff, and then shipped them up. You know, those are the facts. When they were landed in Martha's Vineyard, they had a status which meant they cannot be deported until they go in front of an immigration judge. They are in effect here legally. That's why, like, for example, say they were on a bus and they were pulled over. None of them could be deported. They would have to go in front of immigration judges because they already have pending court cases. For example, someone that crosses the border, gets processed by Border Patrol, walks over to the neighboring town, has a beer at a place and jumps in a car and starts driving, right? Gets pulled over by police, doesn't run, gets pulled over by police. They can only get arrested. Let's not even say that. Say they didn't drive drunk, right? Say they had a beer, they were, being weird, playing with their phone. Cop thought they were driving drunk, gave them sobriety test, and it's fine. The cop cannot arrest them for being here illegally into the country because they have that legal status. They are not arrestable at that rate, for that crime. If they commit another crime, they can be. So saying that they don't have the right or to decide or demand to be sent to any specific place of their choice is complete and bullshit right now. Because again, you have to understand all the facts to understand that, right? Because I've always thought what stops anyone from Governor Abbott when he's shipping the buses up, when they stop at, like I saw him at a Love's one time when I was driving somewhere, I saw a bus full of them. And then that bus delivered to New York. And I'm not, just saying, well, they were Spanish. No, I actually traced the MC number on the side of the bus for when it delivered in New York with the same day. So, yeah. But I forgot what I was saying. But, that's the truth, And they do have a right. They're still humans. You know what I mean? The majority drop their papers somewhere in the desert when they reach the BP. They are undocumented. Yeah, but they're still given. I understand all that stuff. I understand they can arrest them for driving without a license. Not if they have a Spanish license. They are legally. It's again, like we're not going to argue semantics and all this little shit about it. But I think you understand what I'm saying, because here's the thing: if you get arrested, who's saying they don't have a license? If they have a Mexican license, that's still valid in the United States. You guys not understand basic law? How do you think people from overseas rent cars here? Their licenses are good. They can rent cars here in the United States. They have ID. They may have to pay a higher deposit, but those are the facts. You're assuming that every single one of them is dropping off their papers, which also means you're assuming that every single person that comes over on asylum claims doesn't have any claims for asylum, which doesn't make sense. People come to this country because they love the country and they want to be successful and share a little bit of the success that they think, is in this country. Someone said it is not. They must also have an international license. It depends what jurisdiction you're from. You don't always need, someone said you had to purchase an international driver's license. That's weird because maybe because we're the United States, it's different. And for anyone that Devin said, close the damn border. Yes. When I went to Japan, I had to apply for a license using my American license. Yeah, but what is saying they can't? That's the thing, is everyone's just making, assumptions here. Everyone's just making assumptions. They get a paper in Mexico saying they have 30 days to get to our border or the paper is void. Yeah. But that's what I'm trying to say is there's so much information about it where you like, I mean, for the one comment where you feel like they don't have the right to make any of their own choices here, they're not incarcerated. You know what I mean? They are not wards of the state. They've been released into American streets, which is what the bigger issue is, because we don't know who they are. We don't know whether they are truly innocent trying to make a living here in the United States or whether they're like a mass killer bomber or something like that. Erica King made a stupid comment, no offense, but you said, and most of them aren't coming for a better life. They're coming for free shit, which is a stupid comment because you don't know that unless you've talked to them all. So I would assume by you making that statement, you've talked to over 1 million of the 2 million, because that would be most, right? If the majority would be most, so that would be 1,001,000, right? Whatever. So you've talked personally or read reporting that says that most of them are coming here for free shit. Otherwise, that's not a real statement. So don't say that kind of shit in my chat. Because it's just not, it's patently false. There's no way for you to actually prove that at all. Why is that surname sheriff feel it's his appointed duty to drop his duty in the county and take on new uncut slaves streaming across the border issues? Why doesn't he quit his job and be an advocate in his new base? Why isn't he suing Yellow Ninja? I don't know what the fuck your comment is. Steve, would you let them set up a tent in your yard or stay with you? No. No, I wouldn't let them. I wouldn't let you set up a tent and stay in my yard either. But I'm saying you have to understand we have this culture in America right now. You can hate them all you want. You can hate the fact that we have illegal immigrants coming into the country. It doesn't fucking matter. We have a system that's in place, albeit it's wrong, where people can illegally cross into the United States and still be afforded the protections of the United States when they are here, whether or not they entered into the country illegally. Everybody has to understand that. It doesn't fucking matter. Any other statement or whatever. Will I share my house with them? Fuck no, I won't. Because it's my fucking house. It's already small as fuck anyway for 4 people. But do I think we should have to support them? No, what I think we should do is shut down our border. And actually, yeah, I've already maintained this the whole time. The people that are here that have valid asylum claims that are in the United States currently, we have to figure out what to do with them. But you can't fix a leaky faucet without shutting off the water. I've said it a million times. You have to close the border in order to tend to anybody that's already here. Because otherwise you are never going to get on top of it, because more and more people will come every single time you attempt to do it. For example, say right now, I was a super rich guy and I was like, you know what? There's too many people living on the street, too many illegal migrants living on the street, whatever. And I provided housing. What is that going to do? They're going to go tell their families, rich dudes providing housing, all of these more people. And if there's nothing, the border isn't secure, more people will come. So you can't even provide support or aid to the people that are here illegally until you actually shut down the border, until you restrict the ability for people to just leisurely walk across the border, say, I seek asylum, and then come into the United States. You know? And that's the truth. Someone said, Steve questioned the sheriff in San Antonio is insisting that they are not here illegally, that they are here legally. How? Well, because I already explained that. I just did. When they crossed into the United States and they were given and here's the thing, even the Border Patrol tweeted out this very same thing when everyone was saying that DeSantis kidnapped and participated in federal human trafficking and all that stuff. The Border Patrol actually released a statement, the Border Patrol Union, saying, no. When they come into the United States, they do their asylum claim. They're processed by Border Patrol for several hours. That's when they go through their backgrounds, blah, 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 fingerprints, whatever the fuck they do. And then if they are deemed to be eligible for release onto the street, because some people are still detained in jail. You know, they may seek asylum, but they may, on a risk assessment, have to bond out with ankle monitors. That's how Nexus Services, the company that's suing us for doing the fake BLM protests, that company, that's how they make their living, is they take the people that the Border Patrol and immigration deems are not, responsible enough to be out in the United States by themselves. They give them an immigration bond. A bonding company has to come in and put that bond forward. And that's why you'll see sometimes people that are being released by Border Patrol will have ankle monitors on them because the Border Patrol found that maybe they can't be trusted to actually come back. But once they are processed through the border and they're doing everything, they're given a court date, which is typically 60 days from the time that they're arrested. Or, well, now it's all backed up. So they're given a time within 60 days that they have to contact the immigration office to find out their court date. That piece of paper that they're given means that they cannot be rearrested for being here illegally in the United States, because technically, by that piece of paper, they are not here illegally anymore. That piece of paper permits them to be in the United States while their immigration hearing or the asylum hearings are taking place. Those are the facts, and nobody can dispute that. So by the time everyone got on the plane, that's why you can't charge the pilot with human trafficking, because when they got on the plane, they were already here legally in the United States. And there's all this reporting that DeSantis had them sign waivers, and we hear all the false promises and the shit like that. DeSantis had them sign transportation waivers, asked them if they wanted to go up to the Northeast. They said yes, and he took them. He provided transport. That's why he'll never be able to be charged. Even the sheriff in San Antonio that's investigating DeSantis even said, I have no idea what he could be charged with. I just know it wasn't right. And that was during his announcement, the Democrat sheriff. But those are the facts. Gary Hughes Investigates said, Dems don't want to solve the immigration problem as it's a voting prop every 4 years. Comprehensive immigration reform will never be solved by Dems because they don't want to do it. They need the votes, which is true. But which doesn't really make a lot of sense. That is true, but it doesn't make sense because you would think that you would have a better, well, because maybe what they're doing, and that's why they're pushing the pathway to citizenship, because you flood the country, say 2 million people came this year, 2 million people came last year. That's 4 million people. If you create a pathway for citizenship for those 4 million voters, and the Republicans are the ones that are fighting against them all the times anyway, against Democrats, obviously their hope is that they're going to pick up those voters. I don't believe in a pathway to citizenship. No. Yeah, I believe that you should have a pathway to being legal in the United States if you're here illegally. But again, you can't even do any of that shit until the border is completely shut down and we can properly vet. And every person that's here legally or illegally now needs to have their background gone through like fucking crazy. You know what I mean? That's just my belief. That's my belief. Someone said, why bypass an entire country, Mexico, and haul ass to the United States if it's asylum? I don't know. I don't know enough about that. I don't know whether if you're from South America and you were seeking asylum, could you seek asylum in Mexico? Could you not just, isn't asylum supposed to be the first country, the first border you cross? I believe that's what it is. The first border that you cross, you're supposed to seek asylum on that border. So I don't know how it all works or how everybody's doing it, but I know that America has this policy that's internationally known that if you cross into the United States, you throw up your hands and say you're seeking asylum, the government here lets you stay until they decide later on at a future court date years from now that you can't be here. You can't work. It's not like they're giving you a green card. You still got to apply for all that stuff while you're seeking asylum. You still have to apply for the green card. You still have to do all that. But those are the truth. Rusty Cantrell, don't be stupid in my chat, please. I just saw your April side chick comment. I don't like that, but even if it was a joke, I don't like it. Patriot Operator said, it's great when Steve tries to be rational as an extremist listeners talk back. Yeah, but that's why I do this show. This is the whole reason why I do this show every day. Is because I don't need you to agree with me. I just need you to listen. That's it. That's the only reason I do it. If nobody was listening and I only had 100, if I had 5 people watching every single day, I'd still do it. Because my goal isn't to convince you that I'm right. No, my goal is to have you understand this as a separate point. Liz put some novel in the chat. Please don't put long comments like that because nobody can read it. It's frustrating. Was that a law during Trump? Yeah, it's always been a law. That's always been a law. But under Trump, we actually kicked him out of the country. We didn't award, it's like participation awards. It's almost like that's what the United States gives out, a participation award. You cross into the United States, you seek asylum. They don't kick you out anymore. Donald Trump kicked him out. But so people didn't come across in the numbers that they do now because they knew they weren't going to be able to stay. That's a problem now is everybody knows they're going to be able to stay. There's no deterrent from people coming over. In fact, this whole stunt, the flying them up to Martha's Vineyard and everything didn't do anything to help curb it Because you know what? If those images were shown on television down there, what did they see? What did they see? They saw their people from Venezuela getting a chartered plane meal, getting meals, getting this, getting that, getting hugged and kissed by all these people. Think about that, because you know damn well Telemundo and all those other Spanish news stations, that's the only one Univision, that sounded French instead of Spanish, but you know what I mean. They were all out there filming, and they're running those nonstop on the South American news channels, which is going to cause more people. Like, if you're watching that, like, because we can watch what's going on in Iran, right? Like, you know, people being lit on fire and fighting and doing all that stuff. And we're like, whoa, you don't want to go there. The images coming out of America right now to these other countries, especially when it revolves around immigration, how's that bad? It's literally helping Democrats in their quest on getting more people to cross the border. Even think New York City, when all these buses are pulling out and all the migrants are getting off of the buses and everyone's giving them hugs and award and they're treated like celebrities and all the photographers are there taking pictures. We've seen those videos from when they release them in New York City and DC. Everybody's seen those. How is that negative when it goes overseas? You know? Hugh, I know you're a fake account. I'm not saying your last name. Can you cut it on Facebook, please? Otherwise, I'll just get rid of you. But happy birthday, Hugh. Who are the Democrats and who are the Republicans? What's that mean? I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Hold on. I'm way behind in the comments. Let me scroll. It's not fair to the people who properly immigrate into the country. No, it's not at all. Well, they had a remain in Mexico policy was in place. So they didn't even cross into the United States. They had to start the asylum process in Mexico. That was why it was called the remain in Mexico policy. They had to start in the first state, the closest state, or the closest country. So they weren't trying to illegally cross into the United States at the numbers that they are now when Donald Trump was president, because he kicked them out. Shelly Hughes said, not to change the subject, but did we get the QR code mug thing? No. I'll have it done by Monday. So just keep scanning the codes. By Monday, you'll see, and it'll go to funny videos and all sorts of stuff. You're supposed to scan it every day. Billy Mack said, Steve, are we going to war with Russia over Ukraine? I don't know. You know, I was trying to think about that today, and when I was listening to all these speeches, I think that's what it's setting up to be. I don't think there's going to be much of a war, though. I'll be completely honest, because I firmly believe Putin is not going to allow that to happen. He will bomb the shit out of, anybody. That's my personal belief. Shelly, you aren't. No, you're not. Do you work in trucking and are the head of some massive company? If so, contact me because you're rich. You can solve a lot of my problems. I don't think you are, but your name is familiar. Someone said, Steve, I know this already, but the state they are sent to is not a sanctuary state. Why couldn't that state send them to a sanctuary state? Huh? Steve, I know you asked this, but if the state they sent to is not a sanctuary state, why couldn't that state send them to a sanctuary state? There's nothing wrong with the states, paying to transport anybody. Nobody's arguing that. Texas can legally transport because all they're doing is they're offering free travel to people that are legally here at that point. You know what I mean? Because the majority of the people, they don't want to stay in Texas anyway. That's just the closest border crossing. That's why they're doing it. If that makes sense. I think I missed it. Shelly said no. No, it's not you. All right. Well, that sucks. That sucks. I was going to be like, there's no way that rich ass person's in my chat anyway. April said, I forgot to tell Steve that I won the lottery and I'm giving him half. Oh, nice. Texas Lottery owes you $2. Sweet. Someone said they are being bussed and trucked to the border by the cartel. Yeah, because they're making the money. Salty Ma'am said, sorry, Steve, I made that question too complicated. Yeah, I guess so. But does everyone understand now? Because I think I did a good job trying. And to be honest, it's because I had to look it up myself. I didn't really understand everything about this whole thing. But I know the one fundamental thing is that the crisis at the border is never going to stop unless people pay attention. Tina is a moron because Tina said, "Don't take this wrong, but maybe you've been listening to your wife too much." No, see, that's the thing is I just don't conform to a singular way of thinking. I just don't. I never did. You know what I mean? And so by you showing your closed-mindedness by saying, I think you've been listening to your wife too long, shows that you're closed-minded. You're not willing to actually use rational thought. You can only use partisan thinking. And that's the problem with things. And to be honest, it's still partisan. I believe in locking down the border and all that stuff, just as all of you do. I just believe that when people are here legally, we should do our best as Americans to show them what America's supposed to be. Does that make sense? Because America hasn't been the place of kicking people out. My families are immigrants here in this country. So are yours, and it's guaranteed. And think about it. If everyone was treated that way, and with the hate and disdain that some of these people are, they're crossing and they're committing a crime doing so. I get it. I get the argument of doing so. Some of them are leaving, slums and all that shit. Most of them are. Tina said, some things you sound liberal. There's nothing wrong with sounding liberal or having a view that doesn't align with and I'm not even really sure what I said today even sounds liberal. But by the fact that I said that they're here legally, that's not a liberal thing to say. That's a factual thing to say. By my personal belief that if people are struggling in America, it's our duty as Americans to support them, whether or not they're here illegally or legally, only if they're here legally at that point. That's my belief. That's my belief. Suzanne said, I came from Ireland legally. Yeah, we're not talking about you coming here illegally. My family came here legally as well. I said immigrants. You can come here legally into this country and become a U.S. citizen. You were still at one point an immigrant into the United States. Your family emigrated. That's literally the same. That's the term. Why are so many young men? Yeah, I don't know about that. Someone said Americans are struggling. Have you seen the price of food? Yes, I have. Didn't you hear me talk about it already? The price of food and how much we have to pay every week for food? Tina said, I have my mom's green card. She came legally from England. Yeah. But, and again, you said I'm sounding liberal by this view. I don't see what's liberal about it. Maybe compassionate, I could argue. Are you saying compassion is a liberal view? Because I don't think so. I think it's an American view. That's what this country is supposed to be. Someone said, I know a Houston cop told us they can't ask for citizenship during a citation, etc. No shit. I didn't know that. Someone said, not all of these have documents. A lot snuck in. Yes, there are illegal, and they're not here legally. Don't you get the difference? If people snuck in and were not apprehended at the border, they are here illegally. They are subject to arrest the second they get pulled over in the United States, unless they're in a sanctuary city. Do you understand what it is to be illegal in the United States? There's only two ways to do it. Well, yeah, two general ways. One, you cross into the United States in like a fucking briefcase and you're not apprehended and boom, you're here illegally. Second way is you overstay. So you overstay your visa, you miss your court date, you miss your deportation hearings, whatever. You overstayed. That means you're illegal in the United States. There's no other way. It's just those two ways. So we're not talking about the people that are here illegally. At no point have I said the people that are here illegally deserve a path to being here legally. No. What I said is the people that are here illegally, or the people that are here legally waiting, they should be up, because if federal tax-paying dollars are going to support them anyway, shouldn't they be able to work and so that money comes back into our infrastructure so we don't have to pay for it? Doesn't that make sense? Uh, 78 known illegals who were stopped were on the terrorist watch list. Yeah, now you know that there's a ton that don't. There was a video that was posted on social media. I think it was by Bill Malugin, where it showed people the people dropping them down over the border with ropes, and they're all wearing camo and they're running away. Those are the people that don't want to be caught at the border. Those are the ones that you need to go and catch. Instead, all the resources would be taken up by the people that are crossing into the United States, the women, the children, the young men, whatever the case is, that are apparently have nothing to hide. Whether it's fake documents or anything, we can't prove that right now. Someone said, I compassion lots. The Biden administration needs to be held accountable. You don't have a country without borders. Yes, again. So, Tina, you said that I'm sounding liberal. Please describe it. Instead of just defending yourself, you said I'm sounding liberal. So what about my immigration stance, right? So I believe we need firm borders, right? I believe the people that are here illegally into the United States need to either, one, be deemed that they're safe to be here in the United States, or they need to be kicked out because they are committing a crime by being here. And then the people that are here legally in the United States, which includes that 2 million number that we keep hearing on Fox News, those people are here legally into the United States. I believe if we are going to grant asylum or they're going through that process, they should be able to work so we get those tax-paying dollars. That doesn't make any sense? Because maybe then my tax burden, instead of going up every single year, will go down because we're not providing the services for those people. Larry asked about the September boxes. Yeah, I talked about it in the beginning of the show. I'm super behind on them. I'll send them an email out this weekend. And so everyone knows. Someone said, Steve, when we can't support our own people who are here legally, the last thing we want to do is support people who came here illegally. Yeah, but you have a responsibility. Everybody does. That's what America is. I mean, you could round them all up and kick them all out. That's what you're saying? Like, that's completely unfeasible, because you know what happens if they find out that immigration is coming to pick them all up. La Migra, right? Is coming to pick them all up. Then they're going to be here illegally. The people that are here, the people that want to work, the people that want to provide to this country should be allowed to do so, in my opinion. I know a lot of people don't agree. And the people that are here illegally, the people that crossed the border and didn't get apprehended, that didn't want to get caught, the people that have overstayed their visas or had their immigration hearings denied, never showed up to court, or the 60% of the people that are captured at the border, those people should all be held accountable. They should all be deported because they're doing something wrong even after we gave them the chance. If that makes sense. Kate said, on his question, if an immigrant doesn't show to a hearing, do they stay until they get caught or for another separate crime, or do authorities actually try to track him down? No, there's no tracking going on right now because of Homeland Security, I believe. And in fact, many places you're not even allowed to arrest them, even if you discover that they're here illegally. That's what the whole sanctuary city thing is. So even the people that overstay their welcomes, have visas, revoked, or visas that, come here on a travel visa or a student visa and just never leave. Those people, there's certain jurisdictions where they can get licenses, they can work, they can send their kids to school, their kids can get scholarships, they can collect food stamps in some places. Hell, and even New York City, they can vote in municipal elections. Why the fuck would they leave? That's what this country has done. We've given them so many opportunities and so many things here. Michael asked a question. He said, do you think an 18-year-old man or woman coming over the border thinks they'll have a free ride for the rest of life? I don't think anybody coming over the border thinks they're going to have a free ride for the rest of their life. I think that is a talking point that there's no fact behind at all. We don't know that anybody actually believes that. My belief is that people that are trying to cross the southern border are trying to make a better life for themselves. Do I think they're going to get a free ride? No. I wouldn't, because I would be fucking lying if I said, that's the only reason they're here. Because there's no fact to it. There's no fact. I can't prove that just as much as you can. Susan said, I feel our citizens should be taken care of first. Oh, that's great. As do I. That's why we do so much charity work here. Susan, when's the last time you did something for your fellow citizen? I'm not being mean. I'm just asking a question. When's the last time? Because a lot of Americans right now can't. We can't afford it. And if you're talking about giving away free resources and all that shit, I don't even believe we should do that for citizens. I'm not talking about giving out handouts and stuff. What I am talking about is providing a pathway to being a legal resident so you can work for a living. If you're here, but you can't even do that until the border's shut down and secure. I think I'm being pretty fucking clear here, except I don't have a whiteboard so I can write it down. But I think I'm being pretty clear here. There's a lot of stuff. We could, instead of sending billions and billions of dollars to Ukraine in aid, we could use that here in America and solve some major crises that everyone overlooks. Our homeless crisis, the fentanyl crisis. Can you imagine we invested $40 billion into going after the fentanyl drug dealers in this country? What a difference that would do, but we won't do that. We'll send it overseas. Someone said no deportation is happening. Yeah, that's what I thought. Thomas O'Keefe said 65,000 immigrants serve in the military. I know. And that's what a lot of people have to remember. I remember there was this story, right, about this guy who he fought in Iraq or Afghanistan or something like that. He was in the Marines for 6 years. He got out and he was trying to become a cop somewhere, right? And he couldn't become a cop. They had some sort of requirement in place. He couldn't become a cop because of his status. He wasn't allowed to be here or something like that. There was some sort of thing. And they actually had a petition and it went up to like senators vouching for him. This was a couple of years ago, you know, and it's crazy. It's just crazy. Someone said, maybe it's time America splits in two. One side can live in a progressive liberal policies while the other side can live within MAGA policies. Yeah, but there's no MAGA policies. That's the thing, is many people agree with the same premise that I just talked. And is that not a MAGA policy? I believe in putting America first. You know how you do that? By increasing taxes in the place. And I'm not talking about taxes to each individual. No, I'm by saying the people that are here that are taking advantage of the shit, make them work. Get rid of fucking welfare, shit like that. Encourage people to actually go do a job and all that stuff. Someone said, I can't understand why it's a different process for someone coming from across the Canadian border to the United States. It's not. It's the same thing. It's the same exact thing. There's just not as many people, so the Border Patrol aren't being overwhelmed by it. It's the same thing. Someone else made a statement saying the Border Patrol just released some without any paperwork whatsoever that will never be tracked. That's not true. The Border Patrol, everyone that's processed by the Border Patrol is processed by the Border Patrol. They're not releasing them without any information. It's just simply not true. Some are being released without IDs, and they're using their actual charging documents from being here illegally as ID, and that's been approved to go on planes and shit like that. Susan said, I have an autistic daughter and volunteer at her program. Susan, I think you're just clearly missing the point that I'm trying to make. And you said that's what I'm doing. So that, yeah, you definitely are missing the point that I'm trying to make. But someone said, that is true. Border Patrol said so. I haven't seen any reporting that Border Patrol is not processing anybody and releasing them into the United States. I have not seen any reporting of that at all. Someone said, I'm worried about a reliance on other countries. Yeah, we should be. Everyone should be. But it's not going to change anything, unfortunately. Because not everybody feels the same way. Hold on. I just realized I don't even have my next show scheduled. Bum, bum, bum. The help that the federal government gives the immigrants is really eye-opening. The border will remain open as long as Democrats are in power. Yeah. Someone said, I agree. Steve, MAGA has no policies. In terms of, but you said like separate the country in two. That's pointless. Because here's the thing is, and this is my frustration with politics nowadays, is everyone is trying to divide each other on, politics. We shouldn't be. We We should be focused on the one thing that fucking matters most is leaving this country a good, safe place for our children. That is the only thing that should matter. The problem is we have two skewed ideas. And in fact, we don't really. We have one idea and then one that is pretending to be a skewed idea of what is good for our children. And in terms of future, in terms of taxes, in terms of education. You know? And it's frustrating to me. Someone said, talk to me about children being bought and sold in our nation. Then maybe those walking past them to get ahead will become seen as evil and truly is. Hey, I want a good life. Screw the kids. Yeah. Steve, it is true. They said out on the news today, you are wrong. They released without paperwork. Well, it doesn't, you see, I'm not wrong because I said I never heard of it. So how can I be wrong when I said I've never heard that was occurring? So technically I'm not wrong. Thank you though, Yellow Rose, for I can't be wrong about something if I've never heard of it. I literally said I've never heard of the Border Patrol doing that. I would hazard that they're not doing that. But someone said I started around a 501c3 for years very actively. It's been passive lately. I don't know. Because some of these comments, you're having conversations with each other, so it's hard to see. Jeffrey Barkley said, so you think Border Patrol has checked everyone that has entered? No, I believe Border Patrol, and see, this is the truth, and this statement is factual. Everyone that's apprehended by the Border Patrol, up until what I know, because I haven't read anything that says otherwise, everybody that's apprehended by Border Patrol has been processed by Border Patrol. I've never seen any reporting that Border Patrol is taking them in, not taking them to processing, and just dropping them off in a city across the United States. Because then you wouldn't be checking. And that would be, they would be committing a crime by all wouldn't they? If that was truly happening, they have to take them and process them in the United States, because then that would also negate everything I just said. The people that the Border Patrol are doing that allegedly is what people are saying in the chat. The people that are coming into the United States, not getting processed by Border Patrol and just getting dropped off, they are still here illegally, subject to arrest, and the Border Patrol agents are committing a federal crime. So I would find it very far-fetched that that's happening. If the Border Patrol is releasing them without paperwork or without IDs and stuff, yeah, we've heard that for a long time. But I haven't heard any sort of reporting that Border Patrol are essentially smuggling these people into the United States, which is what several of you guys have said in the chat. Said you heard it on the news today. April, can you look into that? Because I'm curious as to what they're saying. Susan said you're not following and you're not paying attention to what's going on. Or you didn't say the paying attention, but you said you're not following what I'm saying. So that means, Susan, that you're not willing to listen. So that's fine. Just stop commenting because you're annoying me. You asked me for what I do for my community. Yeah, because you were saying, oh, we got to care for ours first. Yeah. Hey. Stop. You're annoying me now. You volunteer at her program. Well, good. Give yourself a big fucking pat on the back. You're literally arguing against humanity and against the values that this country stands for. All of you guys that are like, fuck these immigrants, fuck them, you are literally being anti-American. So think about that. And that's how I view it. I view you as being anti-American as fuck when you say that kind of shit. Because whether or not you want to kick people out of the country that are here illegally, that's one thing. But that's not the message I'm getting from several of you guys in the chat. You seem like you're being closed-minded and just saying, fuck everybody. Kick them all out of the country. Where does that stop? You know what I mean? Someone said, have you ever heard about getaways? Again, see, people can't follow simple conversation because we are not talking about getaways. That's not what I said. I said people that were apprehended by the Border Patrol but not processed and released, which is what people are saying in the chat. That's not what we're saying. People are saying that people were apprehended, caught by the Border Patrol, handcuffed, thrown in the back of the van. Instead of processed, they were taken to a city where they were dropped off. That I don't believe is happening. But I think and that's the frustration. When you say gotaways, that's a whole different thing. Those are people that were never apprehended by the Border Patrol agents. Does that make sense? probably doesn't. Denise said all Border Patrol does is take them to the processing centers. Yeah, because then isn't it technically immigration or customs or something that does the processing for them? No one else had to come legally. The people jumping over the wall is illegal and wrong. I don't know what you're talking about. Someone's NBGTBOJ said, so they cross illegally and then get processed and rubber stamped legal, and that's a good thing. No, I don't think it's a good thing either, because our barriers of entry in that regard is wrong. We should be, because there's no way you're going to be able to find out enough about a person to find out whether they have ill intentions in 3 hours. You're just not going to be able to. You know, that's my belief. But people that have a valid asylum claim, you know, there's people that have been persecuted. I knew a girl from Mexico years and years ago. Her family, they were like wealthy politicians and shit like that. She was here in America. And by all accounts, she would be someone that you guys feel shouldn't be here in the country. Or some of you in the chat feel, which is kind of funny because when you actually look into it, when you look into her, because she was an asylum seeker, she was here on asylum papers. Her whole family, or part of her family, was kidnapped and killed. And so she had a valid asylum claim, and many people do in America. She's different. I mean, she still lives here. Actually, I think she went back. So, April, that link you sent me, is that dead? Because the link that you just sent me doesn't work. I get a 404 page. Someone said it was a processing error, not Border Patrol. They were released them without correct paperwork and court date numbers. Got you. And that wasn't Border Patrol either. Let me see if I can find it. So that just broke today, because we can dispute this shit real quick too. I don't see where the article is. April, if you can try. That link you sent me didn't work, so if you could send it again. Which you just did. There it is. Fiscal year 2021, Border Patrol did not always assign migrants an alien registration number before they were released into the U.S. in an effort to speed up processing and move migrants out of overcrowded facilities, according to a new report. The report from Department of Homeland Security Inspector General found that U.S. Border Patrol within Customs and Border Protection followed screening procedures to prevent migrants with serious criminal backgrounds or individuals on the terrorist watch list from entering the United States. However, the OIG also determined that Border Patrol did not always assign alien registration numbers, or A numbers, which are necessary to create files on illegal immigrants. The A numbers allow immigration officials and law enforcement to track and locate a migrant's file for a complete history of their immigration encounters. It also contains critical documents such as immigration forms, agent narratives of apprehension, and record checks. According to DHS OIG, Border Patrol did not issue A numbers to 107 of 384 immigrants or migrants in its statistical sample size. Most of them were paroled into the country or issued notices to report, which we already knew. This isn't new. During these periods, Border Patrol headquarters directed agents not to assign A numbers in an effort to reduce processing times. These decisions were communicated through informal emails or orally during daily musters. The report further concluded that Border Patrol and United States Citizenship and Immigration Services could not provide 80 migrant files that DHS requested because the files were either lost, disposed, or in transit. Of those 80 files, the report said DHS OIG identified 58 instances in which Border Patrol agents disposed of temporary files where migrants were not assigned A numbers, according to Border Patrol officials. Well, they should be arrested then. They disposed of the files because they did not have record retention requirements for files without assigned A numbers. Oh, never mind. They didn't do it maliciously. The report concluded that Border Patrol's informal and expedited practices for processing migrants could jeopardize the government's ability to track migrants released in the United States and ensure migrants appear for immigration proceedings. So there you go. I just read your statement. What everybody said, that they were just dropping them off and not processing them, you guys are false. Because what they did, and based on the article, which is where every single one of you guys that were saying that shit just 10 minutes ago, You guys said the Border Patrol took them, did not process them into the United States and dropped them off. This article from Fox News, and you know damn well if the Border Patrol didn't actually do what I just said or did what you said, then Fox News would report it. This article contradicts what you just said. So therefore, I can only assume that you are just only listening to sections of the story that you want because it pushes an agenda. And that is the problem. That is why I do this show every day. So hopefully you guys paid attention to that. Yeah, some don't have the alien registration numbers, but they were all processed by Border Patrol. That is literally what that article says. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. If these asylum seekers want to be here and most are fighting age men, they should join the U.S. military, someone said. NBT BOJ said, nah, people only read the headlines. Let's see what this headline was, because I didn't. Border Patrol ordered agents not to assign migrants registration numbers to clear overcrowded facilities. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, so maybe that's what they did. Maybe you guys don't actually read articles. You just read the headlines and, oh, that's true. No, well, see, that's why you should read the articles. It actually tells you quite a true story or factual story. Anthony Aguero live on YouTube. Yeah, he's been at the border for years. Wasn't he originally a border person and then he went out and did some other stuff too? I think so. Like streaming at the border. He's been doing it for a long time. Someone said, you're with a capital U are crazy if you think any of these illegals, more like legals, will ever get deported. I don't think they will. I think they should. I don't think they will, though. Yellow Rose said, Steve could be better informed on what he's doing. How could I be better informed? I literally just proved to you that what you guys were saying was false. That's oh my God. People are fucking dense. Yeah, I called you dense. He's been there since 2016. Yeah, he's been doing it a long time. And that's Anthony Aguero. He doesn't like me very much, but that's truth. Hugh is being annoying in the chat just in an effort to try to get me to say his whole name, but I'm not going to do it. I'm not taking the bait there. Fake profile. Yellow Rose. I didn't say he was on a Border Patrol. I said he's been on the border filming for years is what I said. My goodness. Oscar Ella Blue or whatever. Yeah, he's down there as well. Why is the chat picking on it? Because I don't see, because here's the thing. There's two groups of conservatives, and this is what the fucking problem is in America right now. And I've noticed it more than ever with the whole 1776 group. So there's a bunch of people that call themselves MAGAs or Republicans or conservatives or patriots or whatever that are not, that are far fucking weird out there thinkers, right? People that don't believe anybody else has a chance to succeed in life unless they are also given that chance to succeed. Anybody who feels that everybody else must be inconvenienced because they've been inconvenienced. That is a huge segment of the Republican MAGA party. That's why months ago I said I'm no longer a Republican because I'm not that person. I don't believe other people have to be inconvenienced because I'm inconvenienced. I don't believe other people have to suffer the things that I've suffered in life, which is what a large majority of people do. So now you have a bunch of closed-minded, and I'll say it, and it's going to offend you, and I don't give a fuck. But there's a lot of closed-minded people here that are like, fuck it, deport them all, fucking immigrants, they cause accidents all the time. I don't feel that way, nor will I ever, nor have I ever. If you feel that way, then you're a closed-minded fucking, probably a little bit on the bigot side. I just don't think that way. And you know that too. Look at like the 1776 shit. Look at all their chats of all the people in there and some of the conversations. I've spent more time in those chats just reading some of those comments lately. And that's what caused me to go this way, to think more about where I stand politically. I'm not a Republican. I've said that for a long time now. I'm a conservative. In fact, I'm a constitutional conservative, which is why I believe we have to secure our borders. But I also believe in the founding principles of America, where we came here to prosper. And it would be wrong and un-American of anybody else to try to limit the ability to do that. You can restrict the ability to do it, but to say no, to handpick people and say you can't enjoy the freedoms that America should be able to afford, no, that's wrong. It's wrong. And I'll never agree with that, ever. You know? Jeffrey Barkley said, Steve, are you having... Jeff, like, you're lucky I'm not on Facebook, because I'm just going to ban you. Because maybe that's what we have to do. We do it every couple of months, where we just silently just ban the trolls. And that helps. And maybe that's what we just got to do again. Maybe that's just what we got to do. Because people want to say shit about my family now. We're saying, am I having trouble at home? Why? Because you're a fucking moron and you can't use rational thought? That must mean I have trouble at home? You've been a bit disrespectful to some today. Fuck it. I'll be disrespectful to everyone. This show isn't called Steve's Respectful to You. It's not what it's called. This is a rational American. I have a rational approach, a rational way of thinking. You may think it's not rational. It doesn't matter. That's because you're irrational. Maybe try to open some eyes. Someone said, why pay attention to him? Because it shows up on my chat. It's a comment. Someone else said I blocked him long ago. Oh, the Jeffrey Barkley. Yeah. Yeah, just people are stupid. Most of the trolls are not real people anyway. No, they all hide behind fake profiles and stuff. And even the ones that do, it's just stupid. Someone said, well, I'll own Ultra MAGA proudly. And yes, deport all of them. DACA also. But I think for myself, I'm not closed-minded. We're all entitled. So you think legal immigrants should be deported? So you think people that have come into the United States have been granted asylum, you just said deport all of them in capital letters. That's what you just said. So you believe that this country should not be the land of opportunity, the land of liberty, the land of the free. That's your belief. I'll never agree with you. Okay? And you're not Ultra MAGA. I would like you to know that. You are not Ultra MAGA if you believe that. Just so you know, you are not Ultra MAGA if that's what you believe. I don't know how to make people mods on Facebook. And she doubled down, right? You doubled down, well, which is incredibly stupid. Because again, look at your family. Your family came here for a better life. At one point, they weren't U.S. citizens. So you would believe that you needed to kick your own family out. Very fucked up. Very fucked up, Andrea. You should be ashamed of yourself. Jeffrey said, dude, you're going to ban me for asking a question. No. This is the stupidest saying ever. For Americans first. For Americans first, we have to kick out other people who want to be Americans. Not realizing that the people that want to be Americans, or the people that are Americans, were one time those very same people that wanted to be Americans. Fucking dumb. So crazy. MAGA is like a religious cult now. No, it's not. Not at all. There's a group of people that are irrational. There's a group of people that have that way of thinking where you just got to kick everybody out of the country. Even the legal people, which is fucking stupid. It's stupid. Do you believe everything? America right now is everything you said? No. Nope. I absolutely don't. I don't believe it's the land of the free. I don't believe it's land of liberty. I don't believe any of that shit. But you know what? I'll never give up hoping that we can be. And we always have to live by those principles. Because if we don't, then you might as well just give up. And I'm never going to give up on this country, ever. You know? And neither should you. Status Quo said, you cleverly overlook illegal acts to cross the border. Nope, not once, actually. You just go back and watch the whole show. because I've actually addressed the whole illegal crossing the border. And still, that doesn't even matter. If they illegally cross the border, yeah, they committed a crime. If they were granted asylum, that means that the U.S. government found enough cause to grant them the right to be here because of the persecution or whatever that they may have faced at home, which is literally why people come to this country. It's why all of us came to this country at one point in our life or one point in our, the family tree, whatever. Someone said the ones coming here with tons of drugs and gang culture, no, they can't stay. Yeah, and you have that too. There's videos surfacing of cartel members or something that are up in Chicago driving around. I mean, we're not talking about the same things. We're talking about the people that are here legally. The person that I just said that to, the Andrea, she's saying that those people should be kicked out as well. She doubled down on it in the chat. I don't agree with you. How about fund the immigration courts to speed up the asylum process either? Or everyone. Yeah, well, it wouldn't be. And you know how you could fund the immigration courts? Look at this catch-22, right? You know how you could fund all these immigration courts to seek the asylum quicker? By allowing the people that are coming into the United States and being granted, an immigration hearing to work in the United States legally, so they're not working under the table, and then charge them federal taxes in order to be here, remain legally while they're waiting to find out if they're going to be able to stay, and have those taxes be earmarked for immigration borders. We'd have the biggest, fastest immigration process in the United States. It's crazy. Citizen Stringer is going to cut off in 1 minute. 1 minute. And I will see you guys tomorrow. I'm going to be live around 1 o'clock tomorrow, maybe 1 or 2, but I'm going to set everything up. So I'll be live from 1 to 4 tomorrow. All right. So keep that in mind. 1 o'clock on social media. I'll be in Wilmington, North Carolina. Status Quo said, aware of the shortcomings of the system. Thank you. Well, you asked a question. You got an answer. So, Victor, can you not spam my chat, please, with the stupid long posts on Facebook? Thanks. Victor Lopez on Facebook, April, if you could find him. He's just doing fucking charge DeSantis. That's what he's saying. Quit giving so much to other countries that use that for immigration. Oh, there's so many things we could do. Susan said, and thank you for your support. Bye, my friends, and thank you for your support. I think you missed it. I don't think a lot of people were agreeing with you. And maybe they were. I have no idea. But I certainly hope you guys aren't all being what I was describing. I hope not. I can't read all the chats when I'm live because they just go so fast. I've showed it on the screen before. Hopefully not everyone is being crazy. Someone said, I do believe in the Bible, and the Bible does have scripture in there that we should all come in one, that we all shall come in one, all of us should be together. It's in the Bible. Why should we be abided? Yeah, there's all sorts of weird stuff. People, I mean, it's a hot topic. Look, I was just going to do a quick little show, and I lasted for an hour and a half doing this stuff. So, I mean, oh, you know what? Citizen Stringer. I forgot to put Santilli on. I saw it kicking on, but I forgot to put it on. But it's a hot button topic. And the funny thing is a lot of people believe that you have to agree with everything, and you don't. You don't have to agree with everything. You don't have to agree with what I had to say. You don't have to agree with what DeSantis did or what anybody does. The only thing you have to do is be willing to listen. That's it. Willing to listen to people. And I appreciate the people that did listen to this. I appreciate the people that are looking at things with an open mind instead of being closed-minded about it. And I do understand why some of you are being closed-minded about it. And don't take offense. There's probably a better way of saying closed-minded. That's probably a term that I should not use in this regard, but I don't have a better one in my vocabulary right now that meets the definition of what I'm trying to say. So, and then here's definitely a troll said, Trump is living rent-free in my head. Not my head, kiddo. He must be new here. The administration has declared the entire border illegal entry, essentially. Yeah. Cheryl said, have you noticed how many people no longer come here? You have changed your opinion on a lot of things. Yeah, it's because I fluctuate my time. So that's the thing. If I wanted to maintain the same thing, one, we would show riots, which don't happen, and then I would have thousands and thousands of people watch. Or if I went live at 8 o'clock instead of earlier today, but I have shit to do tonight, like sleep, because I'm going to Wilmington tomorrow. At 8, I'd have 500, 600 people watching on YouTube, as I do every single day. So your little point that's meant to be like a ribber saying, well, oh, you change your opinion and now nobody watches you, which is just patently false. Nobody watches at this time because they're all having dinner with their families, which is what I should be doing instead of here entertaining you. But that's what I'm doing. You're welcome. Cheryl Wells. What is that? Is that an Adam's apple in your picture? I could be so mean right now. Is that an Adam? No. Sorry, I had to make it bigger. It looked like an Adam's apple. Sorry. Mike Comstock said, sorry, Steve, gotta go. My first date in like 4 years. I gotta wash my pits and cook some food. Get me some eaters. Love me some eaters. Yeah. Yeah, good luck on your date. Radana said, Steve, you asked what we do for our communities. Suzanne Ann Slattery told you, and you called her out for helping our autistic daughter. No, I didn't call her out for doing it. I said, that's great. Pat her, give her a pat on the back. That's different than what we were even talking about. That has nothing to do. She said we should help Americans first instead of helping the people that are here legally in the United States. How do you do that? My question is, what is she doing to help those people, the people that are living in poverty and doing all that? What is any of you doing? What am I doing? What is anybody doing to actually care about the Americans here? Nobody's doing enough. Do you know what I mean? She said it's a neck surgery. I wasn't being mean. I thought it was a fucking Adam's apple. Was that mean? I didn't think it was mean. I thought it was an Adam's apple. One of my best friends has a tracheotomy scar on his neck too. He doesn't even look like he has an Adam's apple because he's got a lot of scabs there from the accident. Someone said, she's kind of right, you flip-flop. It's not flip-flopping, is I have a difference of opinion than you. That's what people don't understand. You don't have to conform. When you get to that point in your life, I don't give a fuck if you're 80 years old. When you get to the point where you realize you don't have to conform to a set belief on things, your beliefs can be all over the place, then I tell you what, it's a very freeing thing to realize that. The thing is, I haven't changed that position since the beginning. I've never changed the position. The problem is that everybody else seems to be getting so far right. A lot of my viewers are getting really far right where they have this different view than mine. And they're like, well, you changed your view. No, sir or ma'am, you've changed your view. My view has stayed consecutive the whole time. The whole time. I don't even think my views are liberal. People, and I still don't, even though you guys think, oh, what? Because I don't think that we should forcefully round up all people who are here legally in the United States. That's a liberal view. No, that's a fucking humanitarian American view because they're here legally. Like, unbelievable. What helping legals first versus us means you are us, means both are us. What helping legals first versus us, you mean both are us. I don't know what that statement means. Bum, bum, bum. Someone said it's a liberal view. Adam said everyone can have an Adam's apple. I didn't know she had surgery. How the fuck am I supposed to know that? I ain't gonna listen to being lumped into others who don't help. I do, and I'm sick all my life being told I don't do enough. None of us are doing enough, including me. I say it all the time. Why do you think I just changed it to my company is now going to give away 10%? 10% of all of our revenues because we want to be able to help other people. That's it. I want to be able to help police charities. I want to be able to help veterans charities. I want to be able to do more. And it would be so easy for me to take that profit and not do it, especially when we have all our other issues going on. It'd be so much easier to do that. I mean, I don't just say stuff, I actually do it. That's what I do. But Eden's Vision, if you're not going to listen to what I'm saying, then good. You don't need to announce your departure. We're not in airlines. And I'm not passing judgment on anybody. That's the funniest thing, is I'm not really passing judgment on the fact that people have a righter view than I am, like a view that's on the right. I'm not passing judgment on people. What I'm doing is I'm talking. And just like someone else said, you are rude to your viewers. If you're half as smart as you think you are, you'd be a half genius. You know a little bit what's going on at the border. I live at the border. But you're not paying attention to what I'm saying. Nothing I've said is false. You can't find a fucking thing I've said is false. So that's the problem with people, is because I'm saying something that you disagree with, you are just rating it false, but you can't think of anything I actually said that's false. That's the craziest thing. And you said you are rude to your viewers. I've been rude to my viewers since the fucking inception of doing live streams. Since the beginning. I am not a nice person. Not in real life, not on social media. I'm just not. I'm extremely judgmental. I pass judgment like a fucking $2 bill. That's not even a saying, but I do. Ask my wife. She's maintained that for a long time. I will walk up to people and be like, I don't like you. That's just who I am. It's my personality. And if you've been watching for a long time, guess what? You know that. So don't be surprised if one day my ire, I love that word, comes at you, because it's going to happen. You laughed when it goes after other people. That's just who I am. If you say something stupid in the chat, or something I perceive as stupid in the chat, you're commenting in my chat, I'm going to address it. And that's just it. I think a lot of people forget that. Someone said, Christine said, not doing enough. Where does help at home come into play? That's what it means. That's the same thing. It's the same thing. I'm not saying that we should donate our money to immigrants. That's not what I said at all, at any point. We have homeless veterans sleeping in the streets. We've got, people that can't buy food at schools. We've got all this shit that happens every single day. We sit here and we look at just, you know what I'm saying? I think you do. Someone said, be careful what you say, he will rip your head off. Fucking right. Especially in person. I've yet to do that, to actually rip someone's head off. I did almost tear a guy's ear off once when I was fighting. That was kind of cool. Yellow Rose said, I just unsubscribed. It's unsubscribed. You would have to add the D there, to do that. And you recommend everyone else does. That's nice. Why are you here? You unsubscribe, but then you type a comment trying to get everyone. So I think Oreo Express may be live. You can go back over there soon. Derek said, I say stupid shit all the time and Steve says it. Yes, I do. Yellow Rose, here's a message for you, Denise, from Denise. You will not knit be meest. Oh, look, Denise is going to get mad at me. I said knit instead of not because she had a spelling error. Oh, Denise, are you mad at me? Denise has been here for a long time. She probably just laughed. The whistleblower claims agents are being taken off sex abuse cases. Yeah, I saw that interview the other day. Vetted legal immigrants are welcome. They come here to work and better their lives. Line jumpers don't care. That is true. Are they all? See, I was wondering where all these people are, but the majority of them were on YouTube. So I was assuming that they were Oreos people, and good, because that is the direction. Those are the people that I was trying to talk to, was the Oreo viewers, because they are the ones that are giving the rest of us a bad name, and they are. What other country allows this at their border? No, but I don't know if any other countries do. Someone said, Steve, would you be happy with 2 million legal immigrants being processed in Mexico coming into your country? If not, what number would you be happy with? I wouldn't be. It's not a matter of being happy with anybody crossing into the United States. I don't believe it's my place to dictate how many people can and can't come in. If our economy and our country can handle it, I don't care how many people come into the United States as long as they're doing so legally. The fact is, our country cannot handle it. Our economy cannot handle it right now. Our border cannot handle it. Our communities cannot handle it. So we need to do a better job at shutting down the border. Again, you can't fix the border crisis here in cities and in the fact that they're illegal immigrants and sleeping at gas stations and shit. You can't fix that until you shut down the border, until you fix the actual leak, which is the border. You know, I've said that several times. Christine said I say stupid shit and get called out. Yeah, you've gotten called out a couple of times. You have no borders. You have no country. Very true. I don't think we can handle it. I don't know. Optimist said, you're doing a great job. Don't care what the morons say. No, I don't. Rebecca said, still waiting for my box. Crave Pure Truth coffee. Yeah, September boxes are super late. I'm sorry. I'm going to send an email this weekend when I come in this weekend because I'm still trying to get everything put together for those boxes. Plus, what I'm trying to do now is build a system, and it seems like it would be super easy to do, but it's not. But I'm trying to build a system where everything is much quicker. So when you order a box, you don't wait for it. It just comes right away for that month. And it's just difficult because you got to have a lot of money to do it. You know what I mean? It's different. It's difficult. That's why the pre-sales are good. But the problem is when I end a pre-sale, then I've cut myself short on time. You know what I mean? Because I can't, you guys have seen when I'm printing shirts all day, I can't do live streams. You know what I mean? And when I'm doing live streams all day, I can't print shirts and do all that stuff. So it's finding a balance. I have the system in place. Now I just need to come up with more money to buy everything and put everything in place so I have it. So that way the future boxes, when you place the order, it just goes out within 24 hours. Also, I don't know if I'm going to get to it tonight or tomorrow, but we are going to be making all of our products I figured out how to fix the shipping issue on Citizens Drink or on Pure Truth Coffee. Where all of our we're just going to offer free shipping on every single item. So you're going to see like the price of coffee is going up like $2.50 because you're not going to have to pay for shipping. So it's actually cheaper if you order a bag of coffee. We're not going to make all the money that we spend on shipping, but if you order 2 bags of coffee, then it costs what we pay to ship it. If you order 3 bags, then we make it for the people that can't afford to, because it's just been a disaster trying to deal with the accounting from that bullshit. So that's what I'm doing. And yeah, I want to order more Harlem's Finest, but I have a leaking roof, so I have to prioritize my funds. Yeah, that's our issue because we're doing house remodels, and I could fix all the issues I had here if I had like another 10 or 15 grand, lying around. Everything I could build the system I need to do. I could have the stock that I need to do. I just don't have it. I was going to take out a loan, and then that didn't work. So, not much, just laughing at how bad Steve is pissing off the Cookie Squad. Were they all Oreos people? That would be really kind of funny. Not that I really care too much about it, but it'd be funny. And we do have K-Cups. Many of you guys asked for the K-Cups. I haven't made them yet. I did get the, I don't know what the hell it's called. I do this because it's like, it's an oscillating weight particle shipper or automatic weigh shipping particle separator. You got that? So basically you dump the coffee in the front and then you put what the weight you want it is. And then it shakes it until it gets the weight for that. And then it drops it. You know what I mean? So it'll load the K. I'm actually making the K-Cups myself because I'm fucking stupid. But I couldn't afford the fancy fucking equipment. So I bought, it was expensive, but I bought other equipment. So I bought other equipment so I could make it. It's just manual work. I love torturing myself. But yeah, and all of the coffee is going to be the same coffee. Someone said I have to drink low acid coffee. Sucks. I can't use regular coffee. Baby, you should try it. Baby. And that's a name. That's not me calling someone baby. You should try our coffee. All of our coffee, especially the Wake Up America is super low acidity. Actually, all of our coffee. The only one that doesn't is for a while I switched to the new roaster for the French vanilla. So some of you guys may have gotten those big like vacuum sealed bags. We're not doing it. I don't, as much as they're good, have an acidity to them that I don't like. So I actually switched back to the original roaster. It cost me more, but you could try it. Is that equal to 3 scoops? It's 11 grams, 12 grams. I haven't decided yet. I got to taste test them, except I don't have a Keurig, so I got to buy one. But yeah, that's what we do. Someone said take a short shot of Pepto before the pot is cooked, and then bam, no heartburn. Someone said, funny because I ain't nobody's part of a squad. I'm just me and my alien squad. Puts hair in your chest. But yeah, so we have a bunch of new sweatshirts also on Pure Truth Coffee. A bunch of new items. I don't even know where they all are. I think some are under t-shirts, some are under clearance. One of our printers is giving us a deal for the hoodies. So if you go to the clearance section on Pure Truth Coffee and just arrange it by new to old, date new to old, you'll see, here, I'll show you real quick. We've got quite a few good ones. So we've got this one, which is our new American AR. Just got, and it comes in all different colors. $35 for a hoodie. Pretty amazing. Our Ammo Sexual t-shirt. I like that one, right? That's pretty good. Ammo Sexual hoodie. Pro Gun one. And then this is our Freedom Flag hoodie. So there you could tell they're different quality. These are the ones that are on closeout sales. So I'm getting the hoodies for super cheap. These are the ones that are not. They're called a premier hoodie, so they charge me more. And then all of the rest of the items that are on clearance. But there's limited quantities of these, so they'll be deleted when there's no more available. These, they have a lot. I'm not quite sure why these are on limited sale. And I think I did do, it's probably not going to sort it, but there was a woman's Razorback, but I don't know where it is. So this is Come and Take It shirt. I know a couple of you guys already bought it today, which is cool. And then these. Oh, I didn't make a hoodie for this one. I like this one. I like it. Oh wait, how come it's not showing up? There it is. I like this one. Shall not be infringed. Especially the military green. But this printer, in order to have the low price, I can't, because I'm not printing these ones. These are a printer. Normally, I would do an American flag on the sleeve, but I'm not printing these ones. Eventually, I will. So, but you can get those on there. I haven't made it free shipping yet, but I will eventually. Someone else said, I just ordered my Scooter Steve hoodie. Sweet. You should do a pot stream, just dab and shoot the crap. No, I'm allergic to pot, bro. I'd be puking. Someone said, it's so good when you open the bag, you could smell it throughout the house. That's my favorite part of coming to the office every day. No joke. When you walk in that front door, you smell the coffee, even though we store our coffee in an air-conditioned room in the warehouse that's sealed. It's a closed room in the warehouse. And you smell it when you walk in. You can't even miss it. And when I get the coffee, when it's roasted, the day after it's roasted, they FedEx it here. It smells the whole thing. I had people 2 offices down from the warehouse that were like, wow, that smells good. I'm like, yep, it's very good. All right, but seriously, I gotta go eat dinner and then go to bed because it is Wilmington. I thought it was 5 hours from me, but my Google Maps said it's 6 hours. So I gotta get all the camera equipment all packed up and in the car and everything. So I will see you guys tomorrow. I'm going to be live at 1 o'clock. Okay. I may be a few minutes late and all that stuff, but that's when it's going to kick on. We'll be in Wilmington, North Carolina for the Trump rally. I'm going to go a little bit out of pocket and do something I don't normally do and interview people because I don't like interviewing people, but you guys deserve it. So do that. Do I store bean or ground? No, we don't sell or store bean anymore. We were grinding it in the other warehouse, but we sold the grinder and we're not doing that anymore because it's just way messy and too much work. So now they grind it at the roastery. We get it here. We package it. Usually same day we get it. And then we only sell coffee that's 30 days old or newer in terms of roast. You could see on the back of our bags, we actually have a roast date. You're not going to find anyone else that does that, but we put a roast date on our bags as well. It's pretty amazing. But yeah, I appreciate all of you guys for being here. And we will see you tomorrow. If you want to support, help us with the gas money. We don't need any hotels or anything tomorrow because we are just driving 6 hours there. We're going to be there for 3 hours, and I'm driving 6 hours back on Red Bull. So if you want to help out with some Red Bull or any gas, you could send Cash Apps, Venmos, any of that stuff. It shows me that you like the show. So you can wait till tomorrow when I'm down there. And if you think I'm doing a good job interviewing people, you could show some support that way. Otherwise, go to the store, buy something there, and I will see all you buttholes tomorrow. See, I can't say, fuck off or whatever like I used to end the show because people would get offended by it. Why does he always say that? So, anyway, good night.